How's it going, everybody? This is Garrett the Cage, and we are back in Calvino Noir on the PS4. And last time we were making our way through this facility trying to get to Torvik, and, well, we ended up dying. But I got us back to where we were originally, so let's get going.
Wilt, I presume?
Torvik!
Excuse me?
We've not yet met. I am Torvik Boehner. Perhaps your friends Siska and Arno told you about me. Oh, do forgive me. I had forgotten about poor Arno. We found his charred remains amidst the debris of our plant. Of course, it was his own vandalism which caused such chaos, so perhaps we should not be too sorry.
He made his choices.
As will you, Wilt, as will you. But all in due course. For now, I must admit that I am impressed with how you've navigated our facility thus far. Nonetheless, I have ceased to consider your sport worth the effort. It would be logical for you to be eliminated at this point. And yet, there are others who disagree. They still regard you as an exploitable resource. Your impressive ruthlessness is matched only by your complete lack of any conviction. You're a powerful weapon that can be turned any which way. Please, accompany me.
Wilt is apprehensive. His curiosity tempers the urge to attack, which pulses through his tensed fingers. Torvik turns and strides towards the cable car sitting upon the boarding platform. Wilt hesitates before following him. They board the vehicle just as its motor splutters into gear.
Okay. He decided to have a little break dance contest while in the metal gondola. Can't move. Can't turn my flashlight on.
The small cabin sways precariously in the wind. Its motor cogs crawl tentatively along the cable, guiding it through the night air. Wilt stares into the ravine below. Its empty space seems to possess endless mass. A nerve in his neck tingles. The cable car has been decorated with 4 small, disturbing sculptures carved from the basalt and granite abundant on the slopes outside. Each one depicts a strange, humanoid creature, half beast and half machine.
Sorry?
The one nearest to Wilt is standing erect, with a metalloid structure embedded beneath the skin of its back. Wilt looks aghast at the prospect, examining the symbiotic depiction of steel and skin.
So, despite everything, you are here. Of all the places for your sickly little bag of flesh to end up, somehow things have led us to this place, this moment.
Torvik pauses, turning to one of the statues at his left.
Frightening, isn't it? The things which we can do. Such power emanates from our organs and limbs.
The car's gears continue to grind it along its threaded route through the abyss.
We are almost there.
Okay. Where is here, or there, or anywhere? What's up with the statues?
Huge portraits of austere faces hang along the staircase, each tinged by the cold sneer of high command which emanates from their pursed lips and stern frowns.
They were all powerful men. Please accompany me to the upper residence. I'd like to show you something.
I don't like where this is going, really. I really don't like where this is turning. Jeez.
Torvik strides into the vast stone-walled room and beckons Wilt. In the middle of the space is a large bronze cage crammed full of snow pigeons. Wilt wondered how he'd not noticed it when he first entered. The birds emit pained squawks as they peck and jostle at each other for space. Torvik watches the feral scene intently, captivated by the prospect of beak and claw-drawn blood.
Do you think you would behave differently were you inside that cage, Wilt? Or are you disgusted by what they are doing to each other?
They're animals. I expect little more from them.
And from people, Wilt? Are they not animals? You don't strike me as someone who expects much more of people than you do of these pigeons. Do you think the world is any different from this rusty cage?
Yes, it can be.
And do you care, Wilt? Do you care whether the world is a rusty cage or not?
You're enjoying their suffering, aren't you? You found a way to bring out the worst in them, to render them at their ugliest. And you're proud of it.
You read people well, Wilt. I am indeed proud of this and so much more that I have managed to achieve.
Torvik pauses to toss a few scraps of fruit into the cage. His face is tensed in grim fascination as the starved birds fight viciously to earn a bite of the rotting food.
I see in you a man who is lost, Wilt. Awake from this dreary existence you have drifted into. Swear your allegiance to us and rediscover what it means to believe in something again. We know you have strength and that you're not afraid to use it. Our clerks have researched your background thoroughly. Your former regiment has kept extensive records of its war deserters. Your murder of the officer, Corporal Harold Wickmans. There is something ruthless inside you, Wilt. Something which we don't often find.
That was different. We weren't just two caged pigeons fighting over breadcrumbs.
You were, and still are, exactly that, Wilt. When backed into a corner, you acted like any one of these dirty, grubby creatures would have done.
I had a reason. Not one I will ever feel the need to share with you, but I had a reason. He deserved what he got. It was different.
You can think whatever you need to think, Will. If you must distance yourself from these vermin, so be it. I myself prefer to compliment you on your similarity to them. So, what's it to be? Will you release yourself from your petty vanities and join us in our purpose? Or would you prefer some sort of futile dramatic gesture, like the mess your friends made at our facility? Perhaps attack me out of misguided allegiance to that girl. She seems to think I'm dangerous. If you think her right, perhaps you should do something about it.
Torvik steps to Wilt and offers his hand. Wilt pauses. The room is silent, but for the yelps of agony coming from the cage.
Oh, I thought about this when I actually stepped away and thought, because I'm actually curious on what all of them would do, but the nature of the game, I would have to play all the way through. There's no manual saves to this, so I'm just going to do probably what I would do, which is just turn and head for the exit.
Turns and heads for the exit. Torvik is briefly surprised before frowning in annoyance that his judgment had been amiss. He starts towards the terrace facing the ravine, flashing a lamp towards the barracks on the other side. Seconds later, an alarm sounds in the barracks. The heavy thud of polished leather boots on concrete rises in intensity like a drum roll. Wilt starts to run. The rain continues to hurtle from the heavens. Each drop slaps against the rock with the force and intensity of a cosmic explosion. To the naked eye, the rock is unmoved. It resists, unchanged and defiant as before, withstanding the endless elemental siege. But a change has nonetheless occurred. Each drop has taken its tiny toll. One day, only pebbles will remain of mountains and cliffs. Nothing stays the same. Not for a second.
Is that the end? What? That was the end? Alright, well, obviously, there wasn't 2 parts there, and you guys, I'm going to edit that. But, okay, I'm going to talk about this game for a second. I don't want to knock on it too much. I'm going to try to be very positive here. So, first of all, things I loved. The art style. I actually enjoyed the art style quite a bit in this game. It's unique in its own fashion. It's detailed, but kind of that distant, foggy look to it. The rain effect looks good for this art style. Everything with that was awesome. The lighting, spot on. Using the flashlight, you could actually see shadows of the things. Like they moved as you moved. They put a lot of thought in that. And actually, the physical characters themselves didn't look too bad for what they were going for. Voice acting. Voice actor for Wilt is awesome. He did a really good job. I enjoyed him as a character, and it sounded good. Unfortunately, I cannot say that about everybody else. Everyone else sounded like they were in a tunnel, and they were recording on a phone. Sitka's actress, you could hear the pops when she talked sometimes, and it just... It kind of annoyed me a bit, because I'm like, man, they had such decent actors. I don't know where they came from, don't know their background, but for a budget like this game, I'm sure it didn't have a huge one. They did fairly well. There could have been some more emphasis put behind some of the talking points, but it wasn't horrible. I've heard a lot worse. You could definitely tell this game was a PC game that was ported to the PS4. The controls were really funky at times, and they really didn't explain very much of anything, especially the shoulder buttons. It took me almost half the game to figure out what it wanted from me with those. And then to put the upgrade system at the beginning of the game where you have to go out of the menu back into it. I didn't like that because I didn't even know that existed. I just happened to bring this up and seen that there was that section to pick from. But that ending, that was the weirdest ending in the world. Like, I guess that I expected a little bit more of a closure. I get why, when we picked what we did, why it ended the way it did. But I was hoping for a little bit more after it, kind of thing. It wasn't a bad game, but it's not one I would say It had some good points in it, but then there were points I wanted to yell at the TV going, what do you want from me? Just a little confusion and a few visual glitch as well. One of them that sticks out was the weights. Like, I couldn't tell if I was actually putting the weights on there or if that was some kind of glitch that they were floating out to the side, or if that was supposed to happen. It was just very strange at points, and that's unfortunate. This game is up on PSN for $10. At $10, I have a hard time recommending it. I picked it up for $5. And for $5, it wasn't bad. You know, if you liked it, I hope you do. And you can pick it up and play it through yourself. Maybe see one of the other endings. But it's a hard one to recommend for everybody. I see what they were going for, and it's one of these games that tells a story. Oh, that reminds me. The story was actually decent. A few plot holes here and there kind of thing, because it felt like they were kind of just like, we got to wrap this up. The narrator was also very good at voice acting as well. But they put a lot of details in the words, and that drew you a little closer to the game, so I do appreciate that they did that. But for the most part, it was an alright game. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't fantastic either, so leave it at that for you guys. I hope you guys, if you decide to, go pick it up. If not, well, I appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much. If you can, give the video a like. It does help us out quite a bit. Also, check out the channel, because we have tons and tons of videos going on over there. Until next time, you guys, stay frosty.
Great